A lot of dangers, obviously, in the region, and a dynamic situation, one that's rapidly unfolding. As you were speaking, Colonel, we've actually just learned from Israeli news sources that they've identified incoming missiles right now launched from Iran. So we're going to continue monitoring that breaking news as we take a live look at the skies over Israel. Again, missiles being launched from Iran that Israel has identified. This is live in Tel Aviv right now. You hear the sirens going off, and it appears that there are projectiles in the sky right now. Colonel, if you could weigh in on the capabilities that Israel has on its own to defend itself against some of these missiles, because as we saw in the attack last October, they relied on help not only from the United States, but other regional allies as well.
That's exactly right, Boris. And that help came in the form of Aegis cruisers, U.S. Air Force assets. So you had both the Navy and the Air Force providing support to the Israelis. So what the Israelis have includes, it's basically a three-tiered air defense system, air and missile defense system. One aspect of it is the Iron Dome, and there it sounded like you heard a rocket go up to try to intercept something. And what we're looking at there is the possibility of them trying to intercept one of the Iranian rockets. We may see an explosion if they hit something, and that is something that could very much change the dynamic. They don't strike every single incoming missile or rocket. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get the ones that are going to affect their population centers. And it's almost like tracer fire. There you see the blast right there. That shows that they've intercepted, and there's a strike. There's a strike right there. That may have fallen just outside a population area there in Tel Aviv, but it looks pretty close to the city center. That is something where there may be some damage.
Colonel, let's actually go live to Oren Lieberman, who's in Jerusalem for us, sheltering in a bomb shelter as we speak. Oren, the skies over Tel Aviv lighting up right now.
This is frankly what we've been waiting for over the course of the past 18 hours since the Israeli attack on Iran first took place. The response that Israel will warn could be far larger than what we have seen before. Just a few minutes ago, we got the alert from Israel's Home Front Command and from the Israel Defense Forces to head to bomb shelters. That's where you find us right now. These protective doors around us in pretty much all directions are the ways in and out of the bomb shelter here in the basement of the building in which the Jerusalem Bureau is based here. So as we came down here, we heard the sirens going off. We also heard you describe coming in, and frankly of intercepts. We just got a heads up from an Israeli military official that dozens of Iranian ballistic missiles are en route to Israel. The people of Israel have been instructed to remain in bomb shelters until further notice, and then you saw some of this already begin to start playing out on your screen. Meanwhile, the red alert, and I'm just listening to what I hear here, it's possible we're hearing intercepts from Jerusalem. It's a little hard to hear it in the bomb shelter. You may have a better sense of that, being able to see our live pictures from different places throughout Israel to see the incoming missiles. But this is frankly what had been expected. A potentially large-scale Iranian ballistic missile attack, one that could attempt to overwhelm Israel's aerial defense systems. And whether this is all of it or the beginning of it, regardless, it is, according to Israel's military, incoming here to head into the bomb shelter. A short while ago, there were red alerts in different areas throughout the country. That's the warning of incoming incoming Iranian missiles here. And that coming just a short time ago, that compelled us to head into this bomb shelter here as we wait for the latest. This could be a longer period that we'll spend down here. It could be in and out throughout the evening. This is effectively what Home Front Command had said, that stay close to bomb shelters throughout the day. And we had seen out on the streets of Jerusalem, there were far fewer people out since early this morning. And now just a few moments ago, probably about an hour ago, and then again 10 minutes ago, there were two more alerts from Home Front Command. Stay close to shelters. And then just before we headed down here, that heads up to head to shelters, and that's where you find us right now. We're waiting for more updates coming in from the Israeli military. As of right now, the number is dozens of Iranian ballistic missiles are en route to Israel. We have seen Iran launch far larger barrages of more than 100 ballistic missiles. We also saw them launch approximately 100 drones much earlier in the day. From what we heard from the IDF, only one of those got through, and that was in northern Israel, but it was never the drones that were the major concern. It was always the ballistic missiles And that, at least from what we're hearing right now, is what's playing out outside of the bomb shelter here.
Oren, please stand by. Obviously, the news here, blasts heard in Tel Aviv after Israel confirmed that there were incoming ballistic missiles launched by Iran. A reporter in a bomb shelter right now, Oren Lieberman, citing dozens of Iranian bombs headed for Israel. We saw an array of lights in the sky above Tel Aviv, at least one missile seeming to get through Israel's defenses and landing, and that is the cloud of smoke that you see right now. We have a panel of experts with us alongside Colonel Cedric Leighton. We also have CNN senior military analyst, retired Admiral James Stavridis, as well as Jason Rezaian, who was held prisoner in Iran for several years. I believe we're watching video from moments ago. This is what it looked like in the skies over Tel Aviv. Admiral Stavridis, I'm curious to get your perspective on what we're watching unfold right now.
Well, first and foremost, you just heard the assessment that these could be dozens of ballistic missiles. This will sound odd. I hope so. I hope it's only dozens. What we ought to be concerned about is not a few dozen. That does pose a risk. A few may or may not get through. But if the Iranians go big here and launch 200, 250 ballistic missiles, and they coordinate with Hezbollah to the north of Israel, which has been knocked back considerably over the last year, but still has surface-to-surface capability and is parked right along that border. That confluence coming together could overwhelm the Israeli air defenses. And oh, by the way, this is not a choreographed moment as we saw before, where you have, as Cedric was correctly pointing out, U.S. Navy Aegis-class destroyers, which have incredible air defense capability and were aligned to be part of the air defense system, not in place right now. So let's hope it's going to be a relatively limited number. But if I'm working in Israel right now, I'm very concerned about what's happening. And all of us who are friends of Israel ought to be very concerned about what we're seeing.
And at this point, we're looking, Admiral, there appears to be at least a momentary pause. We do not see action being taken from Iron Dome or other missiles coming in. What are you looking for, though? Are you looking for this to possibly be in waves, or if this is all it is, what does that tell you?
If this is all it is, then I think we're looking at another, if you will, performative reaction from Iran, much like we saw in previous rounds of this over the last year or so. And I also was surprised, pleasantly surprised, to see the drones kind of not associated with, in timing, with those ballistic missiles. In other words, if you want to overwhelm the air defenses, you're going to come in with a massive number and you're going to bring it all as close to 0 minute, 0 second as you possibly can. So the fact that it could be a wave or two that's coming might indicate a lot of confusion and inability to synchronize back in Iran. It could indicate that the Iranians are not interested in escalating this, although Prime Minister Netanyahu was pretty clear Israel intends to go on striking over the next, shall we say, 5 to 7 days. So, Brianna, what I'm watching for is timing. Are they going to try and bring all this together? So far, they have not. That's good news for the Israeli air defenders.
Israeli officials are saying that all of Israel is under fire. We are looking at live pictures here from Tel Aviv, but let's take a look at what happened just moments ago as Iranian ballistic missiles came into the airspace there. I want to bring in former Israeli Ambassador Michael Oren. Ambassador, how are you? What are you seeing here, and how do you think that people outside of the region should be viewing what they have been witnessing here over the last day?
My family and I are in our safe room, Brianna. We're okay. The building shook not a little bit a couple of minutes ago. And we've received warnings on our cell phones, very sophisticated warnings that tell us exactly what to expect and where to go when the expected arrives. And the expected did arrive. Apparently 100 rockets fired at Israel. And Israeli news is reporting that 7 have hit in the greater Tel Aviv area. So that, by the way, is not an unusual number. Our missile defense systems, which are multi-level. It's Iron Dome is the bottom, but it's David Sling for middle range rockets, Arrow 2 for suborbital rockets, Arrow 3 for orbital rockets. These are joint Israeli-American missile systems, anti-missile systems. They're about 90 to 95% effective. And so if Iran has fired 100 rockets at us and 5 to 7 hit, that's par for the course.